So hi everyone, my name's Hamza. I'm one of the co-founders of Hubble. Hubble essentially helps teams find errors within their data. Whenever things go wrong inside companies' data warehouses, we help them find those things. The problem really came from our background. So I come from a software engineering background, and Oliver, my co-founder, as a data scientist, where we previously worked with some of the largest investment banks and insurance companies, trying to help them drive some of their data science projects to try and really leverage the power of all the data that sits inside these organizations and try and make some sense of it and make it useful for them. But essentially what we found time and time again was that teams were falling over and stumbling on these projects because of some of the simplest things that had to do with their data. It could be something really small and really simple, like missing data or data that was going stale, or it could be something far more complex, but it was always hidden and really hard to find and incredibly frustrating. And when you add up all those things in aggregate, it means that you're left with a data set that you just can't trust. And what we found is that increasing trust in data was so important to helping these teams fulfill their desire to be really, really data-driven companies. So coming from a software engineering background, I'm spoiled for choice in terms of the tools that I use. And there's also an incredibly diverse set of principles that govern how we build and manage software. And so when we started working on Hubble, I really brought the same principles of software engineering to the world of data. And we thought about what is the right way to build a set of opinionated products that really help teams be data-driven and build something really resilient in the same way that you would when you build and launch a piece of software. And that was really the genesis of how Hubble started. And it's about empowering data teams to make them self-serve and to allow them to figure out exactly what's happening with their data at all times. And not just that, but also help them fix problems when they arise. And that's what Hubble does today. It connects the data, it learns the shape of the data, not only the simple things like what the schema looks like and what's sitting inside the data set, but also the semantic relationships inside data sets and the data context. It tracks those things automatically, and then it starts to let teams know when things break or when they go wrong. What this means is that all the sort of manual data verification and data controls gets replaced by a single automated tool. And for most teams that we've worked with, we found that it reduces their data verification and data quality workload by over 50 or 60% by the reduction in the number of manual controls that they have built on top of their system. This is really powerful because it means that any other thing that you're doing that uses data, whether it's day-to-day operational reporting, so think about someone who's putting together a dashboard for the COO's office, all the way through to a data scientist inside a company that's trying to build a new model based off internal data. Being able to know that the data they're using is trustworthy and up to date ensures that anything else that you build on top of it, is going to be right all the time. And actually, one of the ways that someone described this is Hubble allows people to differentiate between what is a real data insight versus what is just a bug in your data, which previously is often a really manual and laborious process for teams. And our vision for the future of that is that we really want to make teams as data-driven as possible. And that's really what we're super focused on. And we're starting by building trust, by ensuring that data at its most granular level is always correct, always up to date and never missing. And that's really where we see this moving to in the future as people expect and demand more from the data that they're storing and capturing. Making sure that it fits those criteria is going to be more important than ever. Our time working in the lab has been super critical to shaping that vision and understanding more about the roadmap to get there. We've got to work really closely with teams across major retail banks and insurance companies and actually understand what their problems are in really granular detail and try and nail down a couple of really important use cases that affect these teams. And we've looked at things like data governance and reporting, as well as helping teams look at things like cloud migration, so moving to new technology stacks and understanding how data observability and data resilience is so important when you're building those sorts of tools. The Accenture team has been phenomenal in helping us get there, pulling in folks from around the business and helping us tailor exactly what we need to figure out which of those use cases were the most important to start with, and then bringing the people into the room that we needed has actually helped us iterate the product faster than we ever thought, to the point where we launched a new version of the product while we were in the lab from the ground up, which is a testament to the amount of feedback and positive response we got from the folks at Accenture and from the FinTech innovation team.